Okay, so we're going to be making Nasi Goreng. Nasi Goreng is an Indonesian stir-fry rice. I'm going to be making it with Kecap Manis, which is an Indonesian sweet soy sauce. You can use any type of chili sauce that you want, but I'm going to use a Thai chili sauce. I know I'm making Indonesian, but it's just not so spicy for me. But you can use sriracha, or you can do Indonesian chili sauce as well. But that's what I'm going to use. Coriander to finish it off. I've got some rice I've already made as well, so it's really good for leftover rice, so some boiled rice. I actually use half jasmine and half basmati rice when I do my rice. And then I'm going to cook it with some cold pressed rapeseed oil, a local product, but it's really, really good because it has natural nutty flavours to it as well. I'm going to use paprika in it, which is a bit unusual, but it really, really works very well. And I'm going to finish it off with some fish sauce and lime, but again, that's optional if you don't want it. And then to make it a little bit crunchy on top, I've got some crispy onions and also some cashew nuts, but you could use peanuts or other nuts or sesame seeds. So it's kind of, I'm going to put in what I fancy, but you can put in whatever you fancy because it's basically just fried rice. I'm going to put some prawns in it. I just want to show you how to butterfly the prawns. Don't understand why sometimes the vein is at the top and sometimes it's at the bottom. At this point, it's at the bottom, but if you see a little black thing, that's what they call in the industry as the poo sac. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But it's just their feeding bit. That's all it is. And feel free to leave it in if you want to. You're not going to leave it in now, are you? But, you know, when you have prawns with the shell on, you never take it out. So it doesn't have to be taken out. So we're just going to take that out. Should have done some of these earlier, shouldn't I? Never mind. And then if you want to butterfly it, all you do is you just go through the thick part of the prawn, about a third, and just bring it round and sort of finish it off to nothing just before the tail. So it has a little envelope in it. And if you do that, it will butterfly out. You'll see. I'll show you. Da, da, da. One more. So they're all butterflied, so they're all ready. I'm just going to wash my hands, whip that out the way. So you've got that. That's ready. Going to use some spring onion, going to use some garlic. I'm going to put some tomato in it as well, which is an unusual ingredient, but I've seen it used before, and some carrot as well. So just going to top and tail the spring onions. If they need a bit of a wash, feel free to do that. We're on blue pita time. And then I'm just going to chop it at an angle because it looks a lot nicer if it's chopped at an angle, like a delice. So the same sort of ingredients would work with noodles as well, with egg noodles or rice noodles. I'm going to use some garlic, squish that, a couple of cloves I think because I like garlic. Squish them with the back of the knife. That'll get rid of the skin. And then you can just chip chop that. Go away. Again, just rustic, but if you want to, you can chop it really, really finely. You can put salt in it if you want to, but because we're going to be using soy sauce, even though the salt will break it down a little bit more, I don't want to add extra salt into the dish because it's going to have it in there already. Tomatoes, we'll finish those off later with the tomatoes, but I'm just going to cut them into small dice. That's them done. And then carrot, again, speed peeler. Top and tail. And I'll probably just use that much carrot. So I'll just get rid of that for now. Move it out of the way. So it doesn't roll around, we're just going to take a little bit of it off. That way we can just bring it down. But because this is rice, I don't want strips, I want really fine dice. So I'm going to cut it into slightly chunkier strips than I would do normally. Then I can put all that together like that. And then just cut that into small dice. You want it about the same size or not much bigger than the rice, because if everything was massively chunky, it just looked really odd. apart from the tomatoes, which need to be a little bit more chunky because they break down too much. So that's all the ingredients done. I'm going to whip straight onto the stove. So that took like 5 or 10 minutes to get that ready. So if you're coming back from work, really, really quick, easy dish to do. While I'm waiting for the wok to heat up, I'm just going to crush them down a little bit. So I'm just using some cashew nuts. I'm just going to break them up a little bit in there. So they're ready. I've got my lemon massage as well. So I'm going to get this really, really hot and get some oil in it. As I said, local product, and it's got a lovely nutty flavour to it. But vegetable oil is fine. Don't use olive oil because olives and Asian food don't really go well together. So cold pressed rapeseed oil is fantastic for that nutty flavour, but also vegetable oil, sunflower oil, perfectly good too. So that's going to be hot. I can feel that. Oil around the outside. Not too much. You don't need it swimming. Make sure that's nice and hot first. I'm going to start off with my onions first, and I want a sizzle. You want to hear a sizzle. Now by putting your onions in there first, you're building up those flavours. I'm going to put the garlic in next. The reason we don't put the garlic in before that is because it will burn, and burnt garlic is bitter. Ooh, jump. I'm going to make a little well in the middle, and I'm going to put some paprika because I want to get that spice cooked out. So about a teaspoon of paprika in there. That's going to coat it lovely. Because the carrots are hard, we need to get those in there because we need to soften those up a little bit. Now a little tip or a little hint is to put a little bit of salt in at this stage. If you put a little bit of salt in, it brings the water out of the vegetables. But as I say, it's going to be quite salty anyway, so I'm not going to bother. Just going to control that heat by turning it down a little bit. The other tip, without using too much oil, is to put an ice cube in it or a little splash of water in there as well. And that steam just creates a lovely cooking environment which softens everything up. So we've got all that going, and then we're going to put our rice in. So hopefully that lovely paprika is going to colour all that rice and make it really, really yummy. You're going to get the flavour, but you're also going to get the colour from it as well, so it's going to look aesthetically beautiful too. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now with rice, I cooked it earlier and then I'm heating it up. You should really only heat rice up once. But you can cook this and you can freeze it and heat it up once. Don't keep reheating rice too many times. Just once. So that's pretty much brilliant. Do you know what I've forgotten? I've forgotten to put the prawns in there. What I would normally do is I would put anything raw I'd put in there to start with. But don't worry, we're always ready for emergencies. Let's whip these prawns in here. Get that nice and hot. Put the oil in there, and we'll put the prawns in there. Meanwhile, our rice is done. So all we need to do is put the prawns on top. So it's really good to use ups as well. So if you've got any cooked chicken or cooked pork belly, really lovely just to toss it through. So to flavour that extra, I'm going to put some Kecap Manis in it. About a teaspoon or two. And I'm also going to put some Thai chilli sauce in there as well. As much as you want, really. And of course, if you wanted to, you could put some fresh chilli in this too. So extra flavour for that rice. Tomatoes seasonal, because that's going to add a little bit of acidity to it as well. Turn that down a little bit. Concentrate on this. So hopefully that's getting nice and hot, or hot-ish. Just give it another couple of seconds. So to finish this off, I've got my lovely nuts. And we've got our crispy onions. Again, optional. And if you wanted to, you could just put a little bit of lime in there and fish sauce. But again, that's optional too. It's up to you how much flavour you want to put into it and how much you've got. And I like a little bit of coriander too. So, that's done. Prawns in. So, put those prawns in like that. So normally when I got my carrot stage, I'd put my prawns in, and that would be just enough time to cook those off, or if I've got raw chicken, that sort of thing, just make sure it's really well cooked. Prawns. Don't take long to cook. Going to start off black, and then you can see around the outsides that they're starting to cook, and you can see them curling up now and turning into the butterflies. Just turn them over. Let them cook for a little bit longer. And then we've got our coriander to garnish. And our late addition, because I forgot, is the prawns. Sometimes just to make sure they're cooked properly in the middle, because you've got your thick part there, I just put them up on the end. Just give them another minute maybe, or 30 seconds on the end, and that should be just enough. You can see how they're butterflied. Lovely and tender, don't want to overcook them. Job done. Turn that off. So I'm just going to put those in there like that. And there's your Kecap Manis. I'm going to try it, make sure it tastes all right, obviously. Really good. It's lovely because you've got your crunch. You've got your crunch from your onions, and you've got your crunch from your nuts as well. You've got that lovely flavour from the paprika. You've got that beautiful stickiness from your Kecap Manis, and you've got a slight spice from your Thai chilli sauce. So yummy, yummy, and the coriander on top, and the extra prawns, delicious, yummy. Enjoy.